Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to show you Command Center build part 3. This is what we're doing now. This is the baseboards we have to take up, and where the cabinets are going to be sitting on the floor, we've actually got to cut the wood floor so that the cabinets are sitting all the way down on the concrete. Right now I'm taking off the shoe and the molding on the bottom of the wall, and I'll be working that around with a razor blade because it's kind of stuck to the paint, because I had to paint over that pink, purple plum color, whatever it is. But it took several coats of paint. I think 3 coats of the kilts, and then after I got 3 coats of kilts on it, I went in with just 2 coats of the gray paint. And so we're going to go through and take all that trim off, the shoe, all of that, and every bit of it we have to go through with a razor blade and pull it. And I think they put 4 nails in each stud going down through here. It was quite tough to take off. Plus it had sealant on it, so they sealed it with some kind of sealant also. And it's just quite tough. And we've got to get that molding off so that when we push that cabinet back against the wall, we're going to have to trim the molding on the left side over there where the underneath of the cabinet is going to sit. And we want that molding completely out of the way, so when we get ready to set that cabinet, we can get it over there and mark it. And then once we get it flush on the left wall and the back wall, then we're going to use a pencil and we're going to trace out the floor and draw it out and make sure we get some good lines so we can see to make our cuts. This real wood floor in this house, so it's pretty durable and it's pretty thick, and we're going to find out how bad it's glued down. It seems to be glued down pretty good. There's no hollow spots when you're knocking on it. Didn't notice any anyway, but we're gonna see as the day goes on. We got plenty of light in there. It's usually good to have a good working light. Now we're sliding that cabinet back, and you'll see me. It's just out of view, but I was actually cutting that baseboard or drawing that baseboard to find out where I had to make my cut. And I'm using a 1/2 inch because a 1/2 inch is how thick the floor is, or that's what it appears to be when I measured it. And I'm going to take it down a little further than 1/2 inch, so I know the cabinet's going to set down another 1/2 inch. And you'll see that old piece that I just took out right there. And I'm going to slide that in place. Now you'll see me draw around it with a pencil. Now I've got it traced out, and I'm going to start cutting it. And I've got a couple of things from Amazon that I bought to make this job a little bit easier. Right now I'm hooking that light back up. So boy, it was dark in that corner and it was daytime, and all I had to do was move the curtain, and it's just blacked out windows. So, but anyway, now we've got our lines drawn on there, and we're going to start cutting. I'm going to go and look and see what kind of blade I need to get. And I ordered this kit with, I think it's like 35 different blades in it. And it comes from Amazon. I'm not sure the PID number, but I'll look it up and see if I can find the number on it. But it comes with all kinds of bits. But I tried the I think it was 2 1/4 inch saw blade, and it's going on a DeWalt multi-tool. So I tried several different ones, and I have a picture. I'm going to put one up here on the screen, let you see it. And it's the one I tried first. There were some round ones in there that I really liked, and I ended up using those quite a bit. They worked out really well, but the one I have in my hand, I used it too. But they're kind of cheap. They weren't very expensive. But when I started using them, I noticed getting down into that concrete, when I'd hit that concrete, it would really dull them really fast. So I went through around 6 or 7 blades throughout the whole process. But it was a good thing because I think I paid like maybe $20 for that whole kit. But I just went down my line where I drew the pencil mark and went across there and cut it all out. And I also bought this other thing from Amazon that goes on a Sawzall. And, I got my Sawzall from Harbor Freight. But it's a pretty good tool, and I'd say Harbor Freight has really good tools. If you're a weekend, builder or something, you're doing stuff on the weekend for just you, Harbor Freight tools are great. They're excellent. If you're a mechanic in a shop, or you're a builder or a carpenter or anything like that, maybe you want to step it up to the next best tool. But just the weekend guys going out doing things on the weekend, those tools work great for us. Harbor Freight, we appreciate it. This is the tool here, though. And this is a flat blade that it hooks up like a saw blade and goes on your Sawzall. And I was able to get underneath this tile and just kind of pop it up, and it really helped out a lot. Now, there are some on here that are glued really, really well. And I don't know how they got glued so well, but I guess they maybe double coated the glue right there in that spot. But getting that glue up was kind of tough on some of these. And you see me there with a chisel, and I'm trying to be careful and not mess up the other wood floor there, because we only need about, an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch at the most, and we're going to be messing up the board, and the shoe is not going to cover it up. But you see me there with the vacuum cleaning up the mess, getting it out of the way. We're going to test fit the piece after we get it all cleaned up. And now here's the middle portion of the desk. This is the other corner. So we have 3 or 4 of these areas total that we have to cut out. And there's the round blade that you see there on that multi-tool. And that blade there was by far my favorite. It worked really good, but like I said, you get it into the concrete and it gets dull. And it looks like I'm sawing there, but I was actually moving pretty slow, and it cut really well. And on that line there, I cut right down the wood seam. It was just perfect. And that was going to give me about a quarter of an inch gap. And so I just went right down the seam with it because I didn't want it to, splinter. So I just went right down the seam. And I checked it, and a piece of shoe molding will fit it just fine. But you'll see me pulling them up there, and you'll see this tool being used again. This thing, I think it made the project a whole lot better. I really prefer this over the chisel. This worked way better, and I'm glad I had it. I was prepared, and that's one thing you need to do. Anytime you have a project coming up, you need to really be prepared. Go ahead and get all your stuff together before you start. It makes it so much easier. And I'm nursing some sore ribs. So I'm leaning over in my truck, and I felt my ribs roll. And I was picking up a pencil out of my truck floorboard, and it was the most ridiculous way you can hurt yourself, I guess, but I did it. Oh well, I leaned over the armrest to hurt myself, and I have been nursing these ribs for the past, 4 days, and this just made it really tough. And if you were watching it in regular speed, you would see how slow I was actually moving and getting up and getting down on the floor and just trying to breathe. But we were able to do it, and it turned out well. And there's your tall cabinet. Now that's the center part where the desk is going to meet up in an L shape. And here's the last piece we worked on right here. See that? This one was stuck really good. the glue, I don't know what it was, but this one was really glued down. It was so tough, but it was really glued down. Well, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. Please like and share and subscribe. What do you think, Dill?
I love it.
It's looking like a desk now, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's getting there.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. We're gonna finish cutting in everything and get everything cut, and the desktop will be level once we get it cut. But starting to look like a command center. Gotta get some TVs up in here.